I see this movie get debated about as often as the Zack Snyder version gets, so let's do it. Superman Returns was released in 2006, directed by Bryan Singer, starring Brandon Routh and Kevin Spacey. And honestly, okay, here's my history with this movie. This was the first Superman movie I ever saw. I was 5 years old at the time, and we went as a family. I believe my grandfather went as well to see this in the theater. It was between this and Nacho Libre, and this movie won out. I don't remember much of my experience from that movie, from the first time seeing it, but I do remember vividly that visual of Superman getting shot in the eye in slow motion and the bullet just crushes in on itself. That was the coolest thing my 5-year-old mind had ever seen. So I've got a bit of nostalgia for this movie because of it was the first Superman movie I ever saw in theaters. So let's go ahead and talk about this movie, starting off with the good. And honestly, I don't dislike this movie as much as some people do. Brandon Routh is really good as Superman. Now, it's very clear that he got the role because he looked like Christopher Reeve. But honestly, he was still really good as Superman and as Clark Kent. Now, is he as iconic as Christopher Reeve? No. But I still prefer him over the Henry Cavill version, and I do enjoy the Henry Cavill version, but Brandon Routh really brought a sense of respect to the role. He paid respect to Christopher Reeve, and honestly, he did the best that he could, and I enjoyed what he did. Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor, I enjoyed him in this movie as well. Now, we can talk all day about how horrid of a person Kevin Spacey is, and for good reason. But it doesn't change the fact that he was a good actor at one point in his career, and he was really good as Lex Luthor. He takes the more campy approach that Gene Hackman did, but he also adds a little bit more menace to it, and I really enjoyed what he did there. He had a very menacing performance, especially that scene where he's just beating the crap out of Superman on this Kryptonite island. Absolutely phenomenal acting from Kevin Spacey. Really enjoyed him as Lex Luthor. Now, the story here, we can debate all day on whether or not the story was good, and I respect people who don't like the story. It's not for everybody. But I did enjoy the story. It was pretty much just a classic Superman story that I feel like they would have made within the Richard Donner era had they had the budget that this movie had. It's Superman, he comes back to Earth after allegedly years of being missing in space, and Lex Luthor gets out of jail, and now he's got a new real estate scheme that he wants to do. And I just really enjoyed it. It felt like a classic Superman story. I enjoyed it. The editing is really good. I really enjoyed the editing in this movie. It was edited very well, especially the flight sequences. Really fun stuff there. The visual effects as well are phenomenal. I really love how this movie looks. It looks like a golden era Superman comic book, especially Metropolis. It looks absolutely beautiful. This movie is beautiful to look at. Now, the action in this movie. I see some people say this movie did not have enough action, but then they complain that Man of Steel has too much action, so pick one or the other. Personally, for me, I enjoyed the action in Man of Steel, and I also enjoyed the action in this movie. I enjoyed how scaled back the action was because Lex Luthor is not a physical threat Superman, unless he's got the power suit, which we still have yet to see in a movie, but regardless, I enjoyed what action we got here. And the score, just as phenomenal as it always has been. Now, John Williams did not do the score here, but the person they had doing the score, I can't remember their name off the top of my head, still captured the magic of the John Williams score of the original movie. So yeah, really enjoyed the score. That's about all for the good, on to the bad, and there's a couple things not a fan of here. First and foremost, I'm not buying Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane. I'm sorry. I'm sure she did her best. but I'm just not buying her as Lois Lane. She looks way too young to be Lois Lane. First of all, she looks like she's in high school, where Brandon Routh looks like Superman. And then I'm not buying James Marsden in this movie either. Listen, I like James Marsden. I'm a big James Marsden fan, but I did not like him here. And then you got the final issue of the runtime. This movie is over 2.5 hours long. I know the first movie was 2.5 hours long, but that was paced well. The pacing plays into the tedious runtime of this movie. Yes, we get some good Superman sequences. Yes, we get some good visuals. But there are a lot of scenes in this movie that just drag on, especially after Lex Luthor's defeated and his scheme is foiled. It takes forever to end. This movie could have been 15-20 minutes shorter, and we would have all been fine with it. But yeah, that is the biggest issue I have with this movie. That's about all for the bad. On to the final thoughts. I enjoy this one. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, and because of that, I probably enjoy it more than most people do. Superman Returns is a solid movie. It's a nice love letter to the Richard Donner era of Superman, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So those are my thoughts on Superman Returns. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you have seen it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.